If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast, the 6'4s hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. Neither one play games when swinging for them fences. We want the finer things that's expensive. They hit them either close range or at a distance. If God for me, why bother? I got my game from the Godfather. Top of the food chain, rock bottom. And handle my business when it was my problem. Jeep. Flossing with a gold chain. I got my Turkish rope with matching gold things. Bomber jacket in the winter, it's a cold game. I met some East Coast up in Spokane. Some of the realest in this dope game. I got my curly top looking like special ed. Clean fade on the side, bumping that red head. Clean tags when I ride, ducking the feds. East Coast, they get that bread. You put the, you end up dead. Then West Coast, they leave that spread. And now you got calling your dread head.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Still trying to the riches.
East Coast, the 6'4s hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. 4th and inches. I'm finna hit a lick and handle business. I got her down, she real vicious. Rockabye, baby, no witness. This is not even a conflict. You on nonsense. Got the same way in Brooklyn and Compton. But with that gang, then make a profit. On top, stay poppin'. Look. See, I was the high school slick Rick, I was styling. Fat gold chain with an African medallion. Hip-hop connoisseur and rolling 20 crippin'. Rap game real tight, freestyle was magnificent. All about the clout and all about my dividends. Them older couldn't tell me different. I need a roundaway girl to let me. Showtime at the Apollo. I'm about the bottom. Take 2 and pour out a little for my who won't live to see tomorrow.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the banks of the Ohio River and Paycor Stadium in the Queen City of Cincinnati. Today, no waiting around. We jump right into an AFC North battle in Week 1 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. On to get us started now, the kicker Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Cincinnati. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
From the 27, Burrow. Oh, leaping, and he makes the grab. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Burrow looking to pass. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game, watching him try to take away that area of the field.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
56 is Mike. 56 is Mike. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room.
Now Burrow. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. And not his best effort there, as this one's going to be spotted down just outside of the 40-yard line.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Pickett now to throw off the play fake. That really sets him back. A loss of 6. Second and 16. Pickett back to throw. Slant pass complete. Najee Harris. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. Well, there you go, Charles. The first completed pass of his young career.
And we expect it not to be his last. Very good to get the first one out of the way, though, as he begins his career.
The Bengals with 2 extra DBs. A nickel look on 3rd.
Blanketing the passing lanes.
First carry for Najee Harris. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Pickett. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw, Pickett. This is caught. Touchdown. Calvin Austin, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Steelers are on the board here first in the season opener. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stuff it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Bengals drive about to get going. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate. And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Now it's Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Burrow now off the bootleg. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Chris Wormley. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
On 3rd down, Burrow. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Steelers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. And that's a ball that he is going to want to keep, his first career interception in the National Football League.
And I love what teams do when that happens. You bring the ball to the sideline, the equipment guy grabs it, he puts a piece of tape on it, writes on it so that you know what it is, and then they tuck it away so that you can have it for later and put it on your mantle. Pretty good deal for him right there. Now he's eager to get back out on the field and get his second one.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Perfect start to the season on their first drive last time out, able to find the end zone. Now we'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 here in Week 1. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
They run the play fake. Here's Pickett. Here's Freiermuth again. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And in 2 plays just like that, they're already operating in the red zone.
You ask tight ends about their favorite routes to run, and surprisingly, this will pop up as one of their staples because they run so many routes in the middle of the field. How about this one? Starts downfield, bends it to the corner, great touch on the football, and they turn that one into a big play.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
On that snap, he's the hero of his defense after the play he just made. A one-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Harris running straight ahead. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Throwing on 3rd down. Here's Pickett setting up the screen. Harris. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Boswell's kick is good. So another scoring drive there, Charles, and an early 2-score lead.
You'd like the 6 there, partner, but you'll take the 3, and I think they have to be happy about the way they moved the ball in these first 2 drives. They have to feel good about their opportunities the rest of the game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance, they've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Burrow will throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Chris Wormley in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. To the air on first down with Pickett. That went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, batted free. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Pickett. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And they'll work this down inside the 30. Another completion there. And you think about the draft back in the spring. He's selected in the first round, getting the start here, as we mentioned, in week 1. It's got to be quite a whirlwind for a young quarterback.
Absolutely, because going in the first round, people are going to clamor for you to be the starter right away, but many teams want you to get your feet wet first, you know, maybe just kind of hang out behind a veteran starter. In this case, though, he ascended right to the top.
And in for the Steelers, touchdown. Najee Harris, 29 yards. And the Steelers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. So a good start to the campaign so far for them here in week 1.
Yeah, all the things that you dreamed about in April and May and that you worked on in July and August, getting ready for this game, it's all coming together so far.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. The Bengals drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Here we go. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Here we go. 180. Come on, let's go. Go, Mike 51. Mike 51.
Slot man moves right.
Hey, let's go. Defense. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D. Right here, guys. Fight 51. Mike 51.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here we go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big third down coming up.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, and they're going to measure revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
On second down, this is Harris. And some room to work. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Now this offense in midseason form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Now here's another carry for Harris. And he'll be taken down after a gain of about 8, as that will lead us to the 2-minute warning. On the give, this is Harris. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Now a first down carry for Harris. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, here's Pickett. He's got a man, complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Calvin Austin making quite a splash with his 2nd touchdown in his NFL debut. And the Steelers continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the rout is on here in this first half. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well. So give some credit to the defense.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now it's Burrow. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Here's Austin. 39 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Now Pickett. Pass complete. George Pickens with it.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground. Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Pickett, he's going to throw it again.
And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Pickett, he'll look to throw it.
And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. this might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Harris starts the drive on the ground, and he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Harris going to get it again on second down. Room here to run. There he goes, right side. 20. And all the way down to the 9. 109 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in the season opener.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Pickett will look to throw it here. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harris. No gain on the screen there at second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On second and goal, Pickett. He gets it left side to Johnson. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a third and goal.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
A chance to really put this game out of reach. Here's third and goal. A run with Harris out of the shotgun, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with fourth down now looming.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
So taking a risk here early in the new year, they're going to go for it. Going for it on fourth down. Here's Pickett. Touchdown! Najee Harris. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Steelers take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, Charles, no matter what the prognosticators say before the season, whether they think you're going to be good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, you never quite know how week one is going to play out. But for them, it has been an impressive performance, and they are well on their way to a 1-0 start.
Yeah, it's a lot like opening up presents, isn't it, partner? You're not quite sure what's inside, but you're hopeful, right? In this case, exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they need.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late. That wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now Austin. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Finally a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Tighten up. 57's Mike. Mike 57. Go.
Looking to throw, Pickett. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up 4th down. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Now back to throw. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. That's big Cameron Hayward adding another sack to his career total. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football, CD. That's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
A lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the third quarter. Now, they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they can just maybe get plays like that and get a little momentum built, they can get the scoreboard a little closer.
And can you add some blinders to the cliche, meaning keep these guys from looking at the scoreboard, because that doesn't help them at all right now. Their focus needs to be on finishing every drive with points and playing mistake-free football from here on out.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard.
11 MT.
He'll look to throw. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Here we go. 180. Nice hot. Hot. Hey, let's go.
They run for it with Mixon. And he's not going to get the first. I don't even think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. They hand this off to Harris. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable second down.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll run again with Harris. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Pickett. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. That's not one that he's going to want to remember, but he had to get it out of the way at some point. His first career interception.
And if he's the guy that they think he is, he's not laughing it off, but he's also not going to let it affect him as the game proceeds. He's going to go back out there, still be the same confident kid, the reason that they drafted him, and go out and play.
Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what 2nd down brings. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
And now a low liner. I think he mishit it.
And certainly not the greatest of kicks there. This one will be down inside their own 40-yard line.
At the 39-yard line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
Now Harris. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Pickett to his tight end, Freiermuth, for the Steeler first. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Steelers are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Boswell good with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into Week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down. Back to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. There's your co-NFL record holder, T.J. Watt, doing what he does best, terrorizing quarterbacks.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They'll look to throw here. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Gets around him. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And this has been quite a performance to kick off the new year on the road, no less, as they try to finish things off here in the fourth quarter. 137 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They run again with Harris. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's Harris. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for Pittsburgh, you can't ask for a better start as they pitch a shutout here in the opener. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.